Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your little break and you are now well rested and ready for the next section of the eye. Like I said before, the eye have got 5 parts. We have done the structure now. We have done accommodation. We are finished with pupillary mechanism. We will now be looking at binocular vision as well as the disorders of the eye. Let's move on. Right, what is binocular vision? It refers to the ability to focus on an object with both eyes because you've got 2 eyes and it will create a single image, right? And the image from the left eye is usually a bit different to the image from the right eye, right? And the 2 images join them in the brain and it results in binocular vision. You can look at this diagram here. This is the eye muscles. These are muscles there. So you can see that this eye is looking from this angle and this eye is looking from that angle. So the image formed here on this eye will be different from the image forming in that eye. But what happens in your brain, in the cerebrum, the 2 will join and you will get a 3D basically image of the flower. All right, but let's have another image just to explain this phenomena a bit better. Right, if you look at this little block here, right, CBA, this is now the left eye. If the left eye look at this block, it's looking from this angle. So this is what this eye is seeing. It's seeing the C in front and the B on the side and the A on top. The right-hand side is looking at the B. It's looking from here. So it's seeing the B in front, the C there, and the A on top. Right. So what happens is this images is now combined in your brain, in your cerebrum, and you will be seeing the block in 3D. Right, so that is binocular vision, vision with 2 eyes. Right, so the 3 pairs of muscles on the outside of each eye enables the eyes to see 3D, 3-dimensionally, right? The ability to perceive depth is known as stereoscopic or stereoscopic vision, right? So we don't see things as being flat, we actually see depth. In depth, and that is 3D, 3-dimensional. So what is the significance of this? Depth perception enables us to walk up and down a stair. Right, so I challenge you to go to stairs and close your one eye and now you try to get up the stairs. You're going to struggle because you cannot now see what the depth is, that you must lift your legs to get to the step. So you're going to struggle more, right? I've got another thing that I can show you. If you take your 2, and I want you guys to do it now, fingers are very inexpensive, use your fingers, right? And I want you to look at your 2 fingers like this, and I want you now to take them and touch them, right, with the 2 tips, right? Now you close your left eye. Close your left eye, and now you try to touch these 2. You see, I'm struggling. I hope you are trying it at home. Okay, now open both eyes again and you will be able to touch your 2 fingers. And that is depth perception, right? So that's why you need 2 eyes. Right. It also gives you a wider field of view. So when I'm looking at you and I close my left eye, I can see from here to there. But if I open my left eye, I can see all the way from here, all the way there. So it's actually making my field of view much wider, right? It helps with performance skills such as catching, grasping, and locomotion. Yeah, that's the stuff I'm not good at. But if you can look at this guy now, if he didn't have depth perception, he would not be able to hit that ball with a bat, right? Because that's what you need, depth perception. And that's all that binocular vision is all about. Let's move on. Now we're going to look at the disorders of the eye. And you need to know 4 of them. There's many more, but you only need to know 4. Right, now the first one is shortsightedness. Shortsightedness or myopia. This is the scientific word for it. But that is now the everyday name. Shortsightedness means you can only see here in front of you. You can't see there. You struggle seeing people there. Right. So the problem here is the lens cannot become less convex or your eyeball is too long. Imagine being born with long eyeballs. Well, that is your problem if you can't see far. That's my problem. Right. So it's one of these two. The lens bends the light rays or refracts. Remember, we talk about refracts too much. And as a result, it falls in front of the retina. Look there. The image is formed here in front. It's not on the retina. It's in front of it. Yes, there is light rays still going there to the retina, but it's blurry now. Okay. And this causes the image to be blurred. Right, you can actually see it very nicely on this diagram here, where the light rays are bent in front of the retina and not on the retina. Right, like I said, there's still light rays reaching the retina, but it's going to be all blurry. So how did they decide to fix it, our clever scientists? What they've done is they used a biconcave lens. That's what it, remember, curving inwards. And what this does is it just bends that light ray there a bit outwards. And as it bends it outwards, now this lens refractive power is good enough to bend the light rays on the retina, and you can get an image on the retina. Right, so you need a biconcave lens to fix short-sightedness. The next one is longsightedness or hyperopia. Hyperopia is the scientific name. Longsightedness, you can see far. You can see the people on the highway, in the buses. You can see very far. But you've got a problem here. You know, when people stand hello and tell you hello, yeah, you have problem recognizing their faces. Yeah. So this is the inability of the lens to become more convex, right? So the lens can't become rounder. Or these people are born with shorter eyeballs, right? They got short eyeballs. And the light is refracted less, and the image will fall behind the retina now. So there will be no image formed on the retina. It's harder for people to read as they age. Have you seen your father, your grandmother, or older people, you know? When they start getting older, their arms get too short because now they can't focus on the book anymore. They can't read here. They have to do this. So they complain their arms are becoming too short. Nee, that's also another bad thing of aging. So the lens, what happens with old people is the lens loses the elasticities and it cannot become convex enough anymore. Right. So those ligaments are now old and tired and they don't want to work along. So what do? Can you see here? The image is formed behind the retina, but there's not actually an image forming at the back of your head. No, that's not actually happening. What's happening is this is the image here and it's all blurry, right? Because it's not focused like that. So what did they find out would work for this? Biconvex lenses, right? Curving outward, right? And it just bends that light rays a little bit inwards, and then the lens refractive power is now enough to form an image on the retina at the back. Next, astigmatism. Right, astigmatism is when you see blurry lines. And you know what, I found something out when I looked at this picture. I thought I was normal, and then I looked at this picture and I thought, but this is normal. Apparently it's not. This is astigmatism. You're not supposed to see these lines when you look at lights, right? You're supposed to see this. This is normal vision and this is astigmatism. What's the cause of this? The cause is the following. Your cornea is either, okay, this is a normal one. The cornea is either too conical, it's not spherical, right? Or the surface here is irregular. So that irregular surface is now causing the bending of light in many ways. So you've got a lot of images forming there. So you don't see a A, you see an A with illusions next to it. So it's all blurry, right? So it causes blur vision. And this can be corrected with certain types of lenses. This is not within the matric syllabus, so you don't need to know which types of lenses because it's actually very complicated and we are not optometrists. Right, cataracts. Another thing that happens when you go old. Right, that's when clouding forms in the lens due to the denaturing of lens protein. So it becomes all white. And when it becomes white, light cannot go through it. Right, and like I said, because caused by age, or those people that didn't listen to their mothers, and when the mother said don't look at the sun, they were looking at the sun. Don't ever look at the sun, you will fry your retina and you'll get cataracts when you get old. Right, and luckily today they use surgery. They suck out the lens and they replace it with a plastic lens. They can even give you biconvex lenses these days, right? So it's very nice, but in the olden days, if you had cataracts, you were blind. Right, let's move on. So let's look at how they would ask this in a question paper. The table indicates the percentage of visually impaired people in the world suffering from different visual defects. Right. Which visual defect in the table is the most common? Most common means you'll see it the most. But let's look at the table. Visual defects, there's blindness, it's 2%. Long-sightedness, 64%. Short-sightedness, 30%. Other, 4%. So who's the most? Obviously, long-sightedness. Right, so long-sightedness. A mistake that learners did here was they were trying to be very smart, you know. I know what long-sighted's scientific name is. It's hyperopia. And they wrote hyperopia, and it wasn't awarded a mark at all because the question is saying in the table. Where is it? The table. Right. So in the table. And there's no hyperopia in the table. It's long-sightedness in the table. That's what's written there. So use the words in the table. Don't use your own words because you will lose marks. Right, in some cases where people are blind, the condition is caused by cataracts. Explain why people with cataracts may become blind. Right, so when you have a cataract, firstly, the lens will become milky, cloudy, opaque, right? That's the cause, right? And what will be the effect of that? It will be that no light will be able to pass through. That's the second part because they were asking for explain and it's 2 marks. Right. Still on the cataracts, state one way in which cataracts can be treated. Well, there's only one way, and don't say sucking out, it is surgery. Right, it's surgery. Next. Explain why long-sighted people, underline that, long-sighted people need to wear glasses with biconvex lenses as a corrective measure. So now you firstly, because it's explained, you have to say what is wrong with these long-sighted people and how will this help. Right, so let's look. The lens is less convex or the eyeball is short. Remember, these are the short eyeball people, right? This causes the light rays to fall behind the retina. Okay, so that's what this is causing. So how can the biconvex lens fix it? What it does, it increases the refractive power, and now the light rays are focused on the retina. Right, so that's the 4 possible answers, or not the possible, those are the 4 points that they were looking for. Name a visual defect that is characterized by an uneven cornea or lens. Right, and that's the one that I thought, well, I didn't know I had. That is astigmatism. Remember, that's when your cornea is irregular and or your lens, and it gives you more than one focal point. Now we came to the end of our lesson today. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope that you will go and study hard for this part, because actually it's very easy to get marks here, but you have to know your stuff, right? So you have to go and study real hard, but it's easy marks, right? So see you next time.